Hello there, revenue rascals. This is my first episode after my New Year's Day episode. And if you did not catch that episode, please go back because you do not want to miss the non-woo-woo, absolutely proven, scientifically backed way of creating a vision and a set of goals for yourself that have the best darn chance ever in delivering in 2026. I am so excited to be here. And, this episode's dropping on the 6th of January. And I will tell you right now, I cannot wait for next week. If you are a parent, you have probably been in what I call the vortex for the last couple of weeks. Heck, maybe if you're not even a parent, you still feel like you're in the vortex. Kids home with no schedule, 2 weeks. Unfortunately, my son sprained his ankle and he's a competitive skier. It's just really sad. And, it's just a little chaotic over those 2 weeks. Like I had a fantastic Christmas with my family in town in Park City, great time with friends. But, it's just like, there's a little bit of downtime, which is great. However, I am so excited to be back here and to be kicking off January strong. Independence isn't just about where you go. It's about how well you live when you get there. That's why I am genuinely excited about Indie Stove, because it completely changes what outdoor and off-grid cooking looks like. Indie Stove is an ultra-portable, collapsible stove that fits basically anywhere, but performs like a real kitchen tool. It heats up in minutes, holds up in wind, rain, and rugged terrain, and works with multiple fuel sources, propane, butane, or wood pellets. So you're never limited by where you are and what's available. But here's where it gets fun. This isn't just about boiling water. With Indie Stove's modular accessories, you can actually cook. The workspace stack gives you sturdy side sleeves, so your cookware, ingredients, and tools are right there when you need them most. No balancing acts, no chaos. The skewer stack lets you grill kebabs, vegetables, or skewered meals evenly with non-sag skewers designed for real heat control. And yes, people are baking chocolate chip cookies off the grid. Fresh cookies in the middle of nowhere. That is not survival, that's luxury. Indie Stove is built for people who want freedom without giving up quality. Real meals, real control, real independence. Whether you're camping, overlanding, prepping for emergencies, or just choosing a life that isn't tied to outlets and crowded kitchens. And because you're a Revenue Rascals listener, you get something extra. Use code Revenue Rascals at checkout and you'll receive a free workspace stack with your purchase of a stove, valued at $120. That's Revenue Rascals at indiestove.com. Because independence should taste incredible. Let's go ahead and jump in what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try a slightly different style here. I've made a bunch of notes and citations on my phone. So as we have today's podcast, I'm going to be looking down at my phone a little bit so that I can reference all the amazing citations and articles that I found to talk about today's topic. So let's go ahead and jump right in. What we're going to be talking about today is something that I find incredibly fascinating. It applies to both B2B businesses and B2C, and you can also bridge the two as well. And that is wellness as an identity and how that is going to impact buying habits, patterns, money spent in 2026 and beyond. Let's talk about this for a hot minute. There is a huge evolution that has been happening really since COVID stopped. And it's something we have to pay attention to, is that wellness is no longer considered like a luxury item, for example. What it is now is people are budgeting for wellness every month. They're prioritizing wellness. And you'll even see in some generations, you'll see an inversion of spending habits. Like, I'm not going to go spend a few $100s a month going to the liquor store and drinking. I'm not going to go spend $200 a night at a bar, right? What are they spending their money on? They're spending their money on wellness. They're spending their money on feeling good and locking in longevity for, a beautiful, strong life. So I was thinking about my journey in 2025. So in the beginning of 2025, I told myself, your big, audacious, beautiful fitness goal is to get in the best shape of your life. And that is literally my main focus. I lifted weights really heavy 4 days a week. I kept up with my yoga, which keeps me flexible and agile and detoxifying and feeling super strong. I cut my cardio almost down completely and just concentrated on getting 10,000 steps a day. I eat my ideal body weight in protein per day, and I invested in this. And if you listen to 2 episodes ago, I talk about who supported me with that, and it worked out really, really well. But I realized when I made that all-in commitment, I spent less on alcohol, I didn't go out as much, all of these other things. And for me, my identity has now completely shifted. And it's a really positive, beautiful thing. And I cleared out my closet over this break. And I have probably like 10 or 15 bags of clothes, and I'm sending them to ThredUp. I'll put the link in the show notes because it's a really cool online consignment store. And if you're like me, once you hit a goal, it's like you're not going backwards. So I'm like, I'm never going to fit in these clothes anymore. They're aren't even who I am anymore. They're all going away. I'm going to earn some money and go shopping for my new identity. And this is like a really, really big swing for people right now. And, I've noticed this also in my endeavor to reconnect and get grounded again by riding horses. Now, I'm a Western pleasure. I play around with barrels, but mostly it's advanced trail riding. And I've noticed that grounding, it's like, okay, what can I cut out? What do I not need to pay for anymore so that I can go all in to feel grounded with horses? And that makes me feel really strong and amazing and clear-minded. And it's why I'm really excited this summer to bring that same joy to my clients. So stay tuned for that retreat that's coming up. But how do you, as a business owner or a revenue leader, lock in on this trend? And the cool thing is that you absolutely do not need to be a wellness company to benefit from the wellness trends. So we're going to talk about today how B2C, B2B businesses outside of the general wellness umbrella can capitalize on this. Let's lock it in. So one of my favorite stats that I found doing my research for today, because clearly I don't want this to be this is about Michelle's opinions on the wellness industry. So I locked a few things in, and I want to read this stat to you. A 2025 McKinsey survey found 84% of US consumers rank wellness as a top or important priority in life. Millennials and Gen Z view wellness not as a luxury or a hobby, but as a daily practice woven into what they are. This includes everything, like I've mentioned, from nutrition choices to workout routines and mental health practices. This is absolutely huge because what people care about, what they prioritize is where they're going to be spending money. Okay, one more stat that I want to throw in is that time in green spaces is widely viewed as restorative for mind, body, and soul, confirming academic findings that 92% of studies show significant health improvements from time spent outdoors. This one is so powerful to me. Now, there's this amazing client I had, absolutely amazing, one of my favorite ever. And they were huge lifestyle brand and everything was lifestyle for them, Utah-based company. So all of their employees and team members and consultants like me would get invited to these absolutely incredible outdoor retreats. So learning, outdoor. And, internally, they had a dedicated position to executing these events. And oh my gosh, amazing. We went to Bear Lake for a weekend. We did wake surfing, outside activities, laser tag. It was so much fun. But there was also a learning element, right? When it was leadership only, we had to hike up in snow to a yurt to listen to our lecture. And then we hiked back down. And integrating being outdoors is so incredibly powerful. And there's a lot of people out there that say you should wake up and you should walk and you should get sunlight or fresh air on your face before you do anything. That is something that I personally do as well. this is huge. So how can we lock this in? Well, the first thing that I want to talk about is that if you run retreats, okay, number one thing, if you are a coach, a consultant, a speaker, retreat organizer, and this doesn't matter if you're internal, right? Because I'm going to apply this to internal leaders as well. But as a revenue stream for all of the people that I just said right now, I want you to think about, do you want to have an event in 2026 where everyone just eats, drinks, and sits in a room? Because that's literally 95% of events, right? And I think about all of the events that I have gone to, and I actually cannot think of one outside of the example that I just gave that integrated being outside, getting sunlight on your face, any physical activities or anything like that. Now, I'm sure that I could easily search them out specifically like that and find more, but the ones I've been attracted to where I wanted to learn or network, like didn't offer it, so I just went for it. I want to challenge all of you to integrate being outdoors or outdoorsy or anything that is going to attach to wellness to integrate into your core offering for workshops, for events, for retreats. I want to challenge you to do this. And the reason why is for twofold. One is, it is top of mind for everyone for 2026 based on all of the trends I've looked at and the data that people are going to spend their money on this wellness. So if people are already allocating a portion of their budget for 2026, you better be offering something for them to lock it in. And I'm telling you, it's going to take you probably 6 months to sell at a summer event if that's what you're thinking. So you need to get on this like right now and start to build it and deliver it and to promote it. And it can be super powerful. You can decide to go river rafting. You can go glamping. You can do horses like me. There are so many options. And I really challenge you to lock into what you love. You could go to the beach. You could do yoga on the beach. And, I'm having a flashback moment right now. I do remember one mastermind, because I'm a cat that's lived 9 lives and technically sold anything underneath the sun, is I'm 500-hour power yoga certified. So there was a period of time, even before I had my son, maybe like 15 years ago, I would teach power yoga at masterminds. And I did one that was outside. Oh my gosh, it was so invigorating. People were so pumped. Their head was in the right place. And then they could sit, learn, and do all of the things for the day. So I'm challenging you right now to flip it on the head. If you're like let's get in a room and let's eat and drink all day, how can you change that? And it's going to be good for you and it's going to be good for your attendees. So that may have been one of like the most obvious suggestions, is to flip it on the head and find a way to bring wellness into everything that you do when you deliver an event, a retreat, or workshop, right? Now, internal leaders, if you're planning leadership retreats, get people outside. They're going to be more relaxed. Their dopamine's going to be higher. Serotonin's higher. They're going to be more willing to take challenges and chances and all these other things that you want to have happen inside your organization for 2026. Okay? So lock it in either as a revenue stream, or if you're an internal leader, like break the mold, get people out of the conference rooms. One of the social media trends that I absolutely love right now, there's about 85,000 TikTok posts about it, and it's #touchgrass. Go check it out. And the reason why I bring this up is because it's encouraging stressed out young people to get outside. And so this is another way you can bring attention to your brand or your business, is you gotta jump on these trends. So right now, like if you're listening, go look up Touch Grass, create some shorts around it, some content around it, and you will be able to attract people to your profile, to your social media. And this can help you promote what I just talked about literally 5 seconds ago in the podcast of flipping it on the head for the type of events that you're going to do. And touch grass, #touchgrass. So this one is for my B2C listeners. I want you to think about what you're selling. Okay. It could be anything from handkerchiefs to outdoor gear to waterproof technology that you can take. I need you to think about how can people who already use and love my products, can I put a spin on things? Can I add anything to my product line that will make it what? Of course, wellness, right? So super, super simple example. And I am completely making this up, but I am like so obsessed with handkerchiefs right now. Right. And some of them are delicate, like the one that I have on right now. Some of them are a little bit sturdier. And how awesome would that be if there was some type of like natural repellent on it, where if I was hiking or horseback riding or whatever it might be, that it could repel the dirt, easier to wash, things like this, right? I want you to think about that because people are going to be more attracted to it. And when you think about your SEO or your keywords or anything else, if you're able to say like safer outdoors, easy to wash, take this along on your next adventure. These are the types of things that you can fill in your marketing with that will help you attract people who, once again, are already saving money for wellness related activities. And the cool thing about being outdoors for companies who want to make money about this is you need so much gear. I remember moving to Park City and being like, wow, there is literally 6 sets of gears for every bit of, activities that I want to do. And it takes a couple of years to be able to like stockpile it all. Everything from your paddle boards to life vests to hiking equipment to camping equipment to skiing to mountain biking, horseback riding, boats, ATVs, like they're e-bikes. It's literally endless. So what I'm saying right now is don't go completely and reinvent unless you have the resources to your products. But is there anything that you can add or reposition your products to appeal to that person who's going to be spending money to go outside that needs gear and to support it? And the other thing is that I think is really fun about this, and there's a few people who I think are doing this great, is to be outside. You don't have to be like bland and not dressed up and boring. Like a lot of people think that's the case, but you don't. Like, for example, oh my gosh, Western wear right now, there are so many hot, cool trends, how to style things, how to look great, like, riding your horse, etc. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite trends right now is the hat bars. I believe the one that is closest to me, well, there's a couple of one, but one that just recently popped up in Utah is the Ranch hat bar. And you can do like decorate it any way, which way you want. And you can, of course, set it for your head to stay on if you're riding super fast, or if it's just pleasure and you're hiking, you want one, you do it for that. There are so many cool things that you can do to infuse to position yourself. Like, for example, one of the sponsors of my show, Jason Mark, their Repel product, get this, okay? Their Repel product, when you wash your waterproof gear or your weatherproof gear, actually what happens is it starts to disintegrate the technology, even if you don't use fabric softener, on the water repellent and, weather resistant. So what you can do is you can use their Repel, spray it all over the product, non-toxic, doesn't smell, amazing. I accidentally sprayed it in my dog's face the other day. We're all good, right? You can't do that with a lot of those types of products. But for them, it's super easy. I don't need a new product. They just need to make sure that people are aware that you can use Repel on all of these other things and not just bags and purses and accessories, right? And don't forget, as a listener, you get a discount. Check out the show notes. It's Repel that I'm talking about that will help preserve all of your outdoor gear. So my B2C, my e-com friends, how can you take a spin on your marketing, your positioning to capitalize on this extra money that everyone's going to be spending to get outdoors, to be well, to have that mental wellness? All right, here is another great one. So people are desiring, if they can't get outside, they're bringing outside to inside while they work. And I'm a perfect example of that. I'm looking around my office right now, and I will make sure I put this in the show links of where I bought it, but there is a brand called Easy Plant. And if you're anything like me, you just kill any indoor plant. And these are the only ones that I don't kill. They are definitely high quality. They are not cheap, but they're amazing. And the reason why I like Easy Plant is they have a proprietary way of watering where you fill up this little tube or like container inside the plant and it's hidden and it self-waters. And every month you just put more water in and you cannot overwater, you cannot overkill, you can't do anything to it. You just do it, you're fine. So right now I'm staring at a couple of plants in my office. I also have a water feature, feng shui. It's like positioned to where it should be. And so I want you to think about like, how can you offer to bring outdoor indoor, right? And there's so many fun things that you can do to feel inspired by that and to lock it in. And I'm going to share another stat with you. Even at home, nature is being brought in. Houseplant sales and indoor gardening have exploded in recent years, especially among millennials, me, who treat plants as part of a healthy lifestyle and are willing to pay more for green space access. This is huge. So if you've had that business idea for a while of bringing something outdoors, indoors, or if your current product line would support bringing something in, now is the time. And please go support Easy Plant. I absolutely love them. They're not a sponsor of the show, but heck, you know what? I'd invite them to be because I have quite a few of their plants and they're absolutely fabulous. All right, I'm going to pop back up into the B2B world here. Let's talk about how you can help large organizations or organizations with offices or at least, a dozen or two employees, like small, mid to enterprise. How can you support them in offering additional employee benefits around wellness? Now, for example, Microsoft built a treehouse on their campus. And the treehouse is a conference room, and it's to get people outside so they can think clearer, feel inspired, all of these things. Now, wellness programs for corporate have been around forever. However, during COVID, there was this shift of wellness online, like here's this app, or here's this course, or I'm going to teach you how to sit ergonomically virtually in your chair. I don't think that's going to have a huge demand in 2026 and beyond because people literally want to get their toes dirty in the dirt for the most part, right? Or at least get outdoors with the fresh air. So I want you to think about if you're a consultant or a wellness coach, like how can you make it hit the easy button for all of these corporations who want to offer this to their employees? So curating experiences, for example, taking that off their plate for internal meetings, event planning strategists here. If you're a design specialist, especially interior, like how can you make sure that more sunlight's coming through or having like sunrooms or nooks, or how can you bring the outside to inside? This is another huge, huge trend that I believe will be a absolute moneymaker because if you think about it, companies are heavily investing in AI right now. Being an AI consultant or speaker or anything right now, like high demand, right? However, they need to have the other side to it. And the other side to it is employee satisfaction, happiness, longevity, commitment to the company. And when someone feels whole, then they will stay longer when they feel like a company cares about them. It depends how luxurious you can get here, but even some larger companies offer executive comp packages that include certain things like access to company properties or planned events for them and their family to have these wellness experiences. So how can you pivot your offers and your consulting to be like, hey, I know how you can save money on, attrition from employees, or I know how you can attract that top talent. I have this offer for you. I will come in, I will assess your office space, for example, or I will curate remote office spaces that feel like the outdoor came indoor, or I will offer executive packages for retreats or whatever it can be. Like just lead with this. If you lead with it, you're going to catch attention so much faster than any other way. Because 2026 is going to be the minimal amount of time, mark my words, indoors, and as long as any of us can remember. Everyone is going to want to get outside. Even people who didn't claim they're outdoorsy people, the wave, the trend, the social pressure is going to get people outside more than ever. And a stat to support that, professional service firms tout these benefits in recruiting, knowing that 83% of HR leaders say wellness benefits are key to attracting top talent. One thing I want to talk about is an opportunity to collab. And collaborations are amazing. I had 50 affiliates at one time when I was pushing my group coaching program really heavily 5 years ago. And my fastest sales always came from affiliate generated, and fastest and highest paying clients. It's so powerful. And so in this episode, I want to talk about how you can do that for your brand. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about if you are in alignment, 100%, you are wellness, you are outdoors, right? So that's a pretty clear, obvious thing that these partnerships with these heritage brands, like, for example, Stetson, Patagonia, REI, North Face, Columbia. I mean, there's just so many of them, right? So if you're like in that space, it's pretty easy for you to then reach out to a partner. So for example, like, and there's a Western influencer and you work for Stetson, that's kind of like a no-brainer, right? However, I want you to think about like adjacent opportunities. So if I go back to the sponsor of the show, Jason Mark, with the Repel product, well, gosh, how amazing would that be if they partnered up with Patagonia and did a certain collab or really did content together? So the cross-pollination of the emerging brand like Jason Mark, for example, that gets in front of an already established heritage brand like Patagonia, what a powerful combination. And it can work reverse too. So let's talk about that, for example. So like, I'll go back to my handkerchief. So this handkerchief that I absolutely love, it's pretty durable, it's easy to wash, all of the things, right? And I love being outside. Well, this handkerchief company, could go and reach out to a bunch of people like me who wear them already and are promoting this outdoor life and, can cross-pollinate, right? Or vice versa. So I named this podcast Revenue Rascals for a reason. I've been called a rascal in the business world forever, but I also just have a fond love for outdoors and animals, right? And so that's a huge thing that I want to bring in. And so, partnering with Stetson, for example, would be such a dream for me. It would be so fun. And I know I could pull in people that absolutely love my Revenue Rascals podcast and everything. I talk about revenue, but they're also outdoors. So I want you to think like collaboration here of what makes sense for your business. And it may be obvious or not, but user-generated content, influencer marketing, like how can you dip in order to broaden your exposure? So for example, if you were going to do, if you're going to do consulting services for, being outdoors all the time and you're going to bring people in, well, maybe REI would support you in that and you could do a collaboration with them. So I need to think outside of the box of how you can do this because you can use other people's audiences that have been established in this place for a long time to then increase your own reach. All right, rascals, let me ask you this. How much money have you wasted replacing shoes, sneakers, or even bags that could have lasted way longer if only you'd been taken better care of them? I know for me, running from meetings to kids' activities, life gets messy fast. And that's why I always have Jason Mark Quick Wipes on hand. Jason Mark is trusted care to help you get the most out of what you wear. They're not just about cleaning. They're about protecting what you love while protecting the planet. Their wipes are now 100% plant-based and plastic-free, made from renewable lyocell fibers. They're individually wrapped so you can toss them in your bag, your car, or like me, your kids' backpacks. And it's not just convenience. Jason Mark is part of the worldwide B Corp movement, meeting the highest standards for social and environmental impact. They're EPA Safer Choice certified, so you know the formulas are safe for your family. And their products are USDA, bio-based, and certified biodegradable. That means no harmful junk like PFAS or VOCs. Just high-performance care that keeps your stuff looking fresh while doing right by the planet. Personally, as a busy mom and entrepreneur, Quick Wipes are my favorite. They've saved my sneakers from coffee spills, playground dust, you name it. One wipe, and I'm ready to walk into my next meeting looking sharp. So here's the deal. Go to jasonmark.com and use promo code Revenue Rascals at checkout for 25% off your order. One time per customer. Again, that's jasonmark.com, code Revenue Rascals. And remember, this podcast is free thanks to sponsors like Jason Mark. I'm ungating sales strategies people pay me six figures for. So go support them, grab your quick wipes or your favorite product, and keep your kicks looking fresh. The next one I want to talk about is really fun. So let's not ignore that there is going to be a huge demographic here of DIYers outside. Greenhouses, gardening, for example, are two really, really good ones. So, for example, if you are an incredible gardener, and regardless of the side hustle, you're going to go all in on this, help people learn how to garden and get back outside. That's your social media. And then you partner up with, for example, greenhouses, cross collab, help each other. You get affiliate commissions by selling it, whatever it can be. It could be tiny houses in the back. There are so many opportunities. So if you're an expert in this space and you want to create a brand around it, now is the time. Now is the momentum. And people are seeking this. So there's so many things like DIY. Like, for example, I think about I don't know how to start a fire unless I have a starter. So if I'm in the middle of the wilderness, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'd probably have to Google it and hopefully I have my Starlink, right? So what I'm saying is there's a huge educational piece here where you can partner with brands, get paid affiliates or sponsorships or whatever it can be, and educate people. This will be huge because that is what people are starving for right now, is the education. And I think for a lot of people, because there's so much information between podcasts, YouTube, digital products, it makes sense to provide as much free information as you can where you still feel like you're being valued on social media or any of your other channels, and really have the money come from the sponsorships or the affiliate commissions of selling products alongside the education. So I would absolutely love if one of my listeners was an incredible gardener and was ready to do that and partner with greenhouses. Please send me a DM if you're going to do something like that, because I think it's a huge opportunity. So I have given you lots of ideas and things that you can do to double tap on this wellness trend, but I want to go through and just recap them all. Now, this wasn't one of my traditional episodes where we have certain segments on coaching, etc., but I felt so incredibly moved by this and the opportunity that I felt, you know what? I'm going to go rogue here and just help everybody lock in the ability to make more money by tapping into wellness. First of all, first one, pivot offerings to wellness and nature niches. Adjust or expand your product or services to include wellness or nature-oriented option. So we talked about that. For example, a restaurant could add farm-to-table menu items, catering to health-conscious diners, or an office furniture company might launch a line of ergonomic chairs with natural materials. Even tech firms can develop features that promote digital well-being. These pivots align with your brand, your consumers' core values, and now open up new revenue streams. So that's number one. Number two, infuse marketing with wellness identity messaging. So like I mentioned, reframe brand messaging or what to resonate with wellness-focused customers. Emphasize how your offerings support a healthy, balanced, or adventured lifestyle. Authenticity is key. Use real stories or community highlights. For example, fashion brands now show models doing yoga in nature, conveying that wearing their clothing is part of a wellness journey. By tapping into identity, you're not just buying X, you're becoming the best version of yourself. Brands can absolutely deepen emotional connections using this. Number three, create experiences and develop communities. Go beyond selling a product, sell an experience, like I had mentioned, to foster a community. Organize wellness events, nature retreats, or online communities where your customers can engage and learn. This doesn't just generate additional income, but also builds brand loyalty. A great example is Lululemon's free yoga classes and local run clubs, which strengthen the brand's community of wellness enthusiasts who can buy more gear. Experiences tied to your brand can become a powerful differentiator. Number 4, you know how much I love this, everybody. You can go back to my episode about creating recurring revenue models, which is so important. If you're not doing this, you are seriously losing out massively. So I'm not going to rehash all of the details. It's an entire episode. Go back and check it out. But as a reminder, leverage subscription models when you hook people with this wellness identity, because many consumers are willing to subscribe to services that keep them accountable. Listen to that, or continually supplying wellness benefits. Think in terms of like boxes, for example. I think you can totally bring that back. Certain app subscriptions for guided workouts or wellness, membership programs. Subscription models just clearly create steady revenue and position your brand as an ongoing partner in a customer's wellness lifestyle. So I absolutely love SunMed's sleeping gummies. They are like the only thing that stops my mind from racing at night so that I can go to sleep. And I get 2 packs of them a month. I take 2 a night. I do all things. It's a subscription model. And I will forever be their customer as long as their products keep working. It was so sweet. In the mail, they sent me this Christmas ornament. So if you're on YouTube, you can see how cute it is. It's like this little Christmas tree. And then they also sent me this card, okay, that said, "Happy holidays. You're part of our top 5%, our most committed customers. Every decision we make starts with you in mind. Thank you for your loyalty. Please enjoy the small token of our appreciation, which is a QR code for 30% off my next purchase." Oh my goodness. Now let's talk about this. Yes, their subscription model locked in my brand loyalty. And then the icing on the cake was their ability to recognize me and send that to me. So forever loyal, SunMed, CBDstore.com, best sleeping gummies ever. So the next one, number 5, is to partner with wellness influencers and experts, like I had mentioned. So the collaboration can quickly lend wellness credibility to your business. Partner with fitness influencers, health coaches, or outdoor adventurers to co-create products and content. For example, a travel agency might team up with a well-known yogi to offer a co-branded retreat. Such partnerships tap into existing followings of wellness-minded consumers that can generate buzz. Just ensure that any partnership feels, of course, authentic and aligned with your brand values. Because guess what? Consumers will always know if it's not authentic or if it's gimmicky. Number 6, invest in employee well-being. Hello. Okay, we got to do this. And like I said before, the whole online access stuff to like meditations, or I just think that's trending out. It's what's trending in is bringing outdoors indoors, or getting outdoors for better thoughts and challenges and all of the things that come along with that. So that's a really big one, because healthier, happier employees are more productive, creative, and this become a selling point in itself. So companies with this reputation, they attract the top talent, period. Number 7, embrace sustainability and nature positive actions. So this is a great example. Jason Mark, again, just a really good example through this whole process here. B Corp certified, it was safe to swallow by accident. You can spray it indoors, no ventilation. So how do you share that story that you're committed to it and that you're all in on this? Huge one. And last, okay, I think we're rounding up. I think that's 8. I'm really giving you a lot. Utilize data and personalization. So the wellness identity trends comes with vast amount of personal data, from fitness trackers to apps to surveys. Businesses can use this ethically and, of course, with permission to personalize offerings. A wellness brand might personalize supplement recommendations, or a travel company might tailor trip suggestions based on a customer's past nature activities. Personalization enhances the customer experience and willingness to spend. Okay. This is a really, really big one, and you can absolutely tap into that. So this is the deal. My conclusion. Like I said, wellness is now an identity. It's no longer something that's nice to have or yada, yada, yada. People are all in on this. And what's really exciting about it is I do think millennials like myself, especially the elder millennials, really gave this one a Kickstarter, right? However, the Gen Zers are going to make this something that lasts for a very, 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 very long time, and that, of course, will bleed into the alphas. So this is not a short-term opportunity. This is a long-term play that I'm so excited is here. So I want you to infuse it. I want you to infuse this. I want you to lock in this as an opportunity for you. And I really hope that after you listen to this episode, that you shoot me a DM or you send me an email and you say, hey, Michelle, this is what I decided to do. Because I would love to shine light on some people that are taking this advice seriously, that are going to be the people who lock it in early enough to make big bucks. And I equate this opportunity to the same as like 2015 through 2018 for meta ads. Like if you were running ads in that period, it was a heyday, absolute heyday. And I'm not sure if that opportunity will ever come back, but this is the same opportunity. So friends, please do not miss this. Go do it, lock it in. It applies to B2C and B2B. Until next time. Thanks for listening to Revenue Rascals, where we turn bold ideas into predictable revenue and prove that breaking the rules can still build empires. If you love what you heard, do me a favor. Tap the links in the show notes to support our sponsors. They're the ones keeping this show free so I can keep ungating the six-figure strategies that help you scale faster, lead smarter, and take more freedom home with you. And hey, if you think you'd make an incredible guest or know someone who's built something worth studying, email me at hello@michelleterpstra.com. And until next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and stay just a little bit rascal.